Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Little Town is a light family weight worker placement game of putting tiles down and having areas on the board. Have I confused you? So this game was a giveaway with the Dice Tower Cruise, which I was on, and I was pleasantly surprised by what a strong addition to my library this was. Now, this game plays a little more family weight, a little bit more kid-friendly. I felt like it was very, very good for that. But a worker placement game is given actual game for children. Now, you're going to play this with your 4-year-old. I'd probably say 6 up, if you will. And you'll probably beat them because of the strategy required. But there is a lot going on here in such a small box for a little kid. And it's wonderful. It's fantastic. There is no dumbing down going on here. If you're looking to get your kids and you're ready to take that next step and they want a worker placement game, Little Town is a fantastic game to purchase and play with them. And it can also be played with adults. So there's a legitimate game here. This is probably, people go on about Charterstone. It has that legacy aspect to it. Little Town, I feel like, is a better engine building, worker placement game for the family weight crowd than, say, a Charterstone. Little Town, you have this box. You have different buildings that can be utilized in the game. And people can use your buildings, and you put the workers out. There's a lot of strategy that's kind of going, this is the engine that I'm building. This is what I want to be able to utilize by placing your workers on the field and on the board. It's wonderful. There's a lot more strategy than you're going to think. When you first play, you're like, wow, this is kind of a children's game. But I don't want to dumb it down. This is not a mass market children's game. This is a gamer's family game. And you're going to be like, wow, you may write it off a little bit, but don't do that because there's some strong strategy here. Now, you're not getting Agricola. You're not getting Feast for Odin in this box. That's not really what you're going here. But if you're like at the Charterstone level and you're just kind of wanting a small box worker placement game with an engine building and some economics kind of put into that, here you go. It has this wide variety of being able to play with like a 6-year-old all the way up to your family. And I could even see some gamers playing this. And I'm not saying that like, wow, to take away from it, but it's really that interesting of a concept of how it goes up and down based on that. It can be really, really cutthroat, or you can play a little more family where it's a little bit more friendly, giving your kids an opportunity, or you can play with your buddies and just go straight up cutthroat with that. Now, I don't think this is going to replace some of your heavier Euro gamers. If you're looking for a heavy Euro game, it's obviously not going to be it. But if you're okay with, if you play Feast for Odin for the night, you might want to warm up with this, let's say, or just have this kind of your repertoire, or give this with people who are new to the hobby and say, hey, let's play this little game and kind of work out the mechanics of what you're doing. Fantastic. Great addition to a collection, especially if you have younger ones in your household. Little Town has been a huge hit with my family. Here's Little Town by Iello. This is a 2 to 4 player game. It takes about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I'm going to show you the components here. You're going to get a little cheat sheet and a rule book, which we'll look at in just a few minutes. You're going to have a board, which will be double-sided. So what's particularly interesting about this board is that you're going to have the kind of playing area up here, and then the scoring and the buildings put down here. But as you can see, it kind of gives you 2 different setups. So if you want to play a little bit different setup at the beginning, you may, and that's a little bit of flexibility that I enjoyed. You're going to get some coins that will be cardboard, and these will be the objectives that you'll be getting. Very easy. Have at least 6 coins with the victory points there, so very easy to see. These containers, I got the dollar store. They don't come with the game, but you're going to have these little meeple guys. It'll be your workers when you play. They come in different colors. And you're going to have houses that you'll play out, and a little bit of cardboard that you'll be utilizing. Once again, these containers do not come with it. These are just what I've added. You're going to have cubes, which will represent the different resources. If you're going to play the game a lot, you might want to do an upgrade for this, but this is what we have for right now. You're going to have any number of these building tiles. Now, you won't use all of these in every game, but you can see here's what you pay to build it. Up in the left corner, you have victory points, and then kind of what the building does down here. Very easy to see and use. I'm able to play this with my 7-year-old, and he understands it greatly. So very easy to use. These are very thick components. Actually, it's got these little dumping areas, which I'm not crazy about, but a very good production. So you get a rule book and a player aid. This gameplay aid is pretty nice. Tells you about the variants, how to build 1 out of 2, and then gives you an explanation of, to give you an explanation, this shows you what all the buildings are. We had a couple questions about these as we were playing, so this is very nice. The rulebook itself is going to have the front of the book. Then you're going to have a picture of all the components, which is great. An overview, elements, kind of how everything works. And then you're going to jump into setup and gameplay. Really, you have two actions: gather and activate, and build a building. That's what you'll be doing on a turn. Very easy to understand. Kind of goes through full color examples and explanations. What happens at the end of the round. And then you have the end of game and how to score. Very, very easy to pick up and play. You'll be able to play this probably in less than 10 minutes. You can read this, especially if you ever played a worker placement game before. Setting up the game is very easy. You're going to put your victory point tracker on 0. Then you will have a number of workers based on the number of players. You'll put all of the wheat buildings down. These will just be one stack. And the rest of the buildings are kind of randomized depending on how you want to set it up. Now, your first point of play, they're going to tell you this little bird right here. If you want to start with all the tiles of the bird, they say that's the recommended setup the first time you play, and then you can randomize it from there. What you're going to do in a turn is very easy. You're going to place your worker down, and then you'll activate everything around it. So in this case, I would get a wood, a stone, and a blue fish. So I would take these in my supply, and now I have these. The other thing you can do on your turn is you can purchase a building down here. So you just put your worker down here in the construction phase, and if you have the resources, you can build any one of these. So let me just show you an example. Here you would give up 2 wood. So you would take 2 wood that you've been able to accomplish during the game, give that back to the supply, immediately score 4 points, put that on the tracker, and then this building will go down on the board. Let's say you wanted to place it right there. You would put one of your workers on it to signify that this is your building and you're ready to go. So let's say the next player goes and he's going to place it right here. That's fine. He will get a blue and a brown cube for this, put this in his supply. And then he can activate this building. Oh yes, you can activate somebody else's building. So if you want to activate somebody else's building, you do have to give them a coin. You give them the coin, then you can activate the building. In this case, which is give up a coin and you get 3 brown cubes. Now, if I were to go on my turn, let's say the white player had gone and the orange hadn't got there, I could activate this building and it would not cost me a coin. Now, in our example, the orange player had gone here, so maybe I would go here. I would get 1, 2, 3 brown cubes for those spots, and I could activate my own building, giving up a cube and getting 3 more brown cubes. So you can see how these buildings will be very powerful, and where you place them on the board and how they grow will definitely signify. You do have one other type of buildings, which you're going to see this little clock or stopwatch on it. This just means it's going to score at the end of the game. So there's 4 of these in the box. Otherwise, they're all going to activate when somebody does this, and you always activate what's around you. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game is your winner, and that's how you play Little Town. Who should buy this game? I think this game is squarely going to fit into the family mantra here, right? So if you have the younger kids, or non-gamer kids, and you want to get them playing a little bit of a worker placement game, I think this is definitely something that can fit that bill. I think most families should have a game like this, if not this game, in their collection. If somebody comes over who's never played games before, and you want to kind of get them into the worker placement, but they don't want to jump into a legacy game like Charterstone, which I'm not a fan of, then this is a great addition to sit down and play. Hey, this is what you're doing. This is what you're placing. This is the spatial element of the game. This is how worker placement works. Excellent. Excellent. I'll tell you what, when it comes to Little Town, I'm in. I really like this game quite a bit. I think it works really well, especially with my younger ones. And I was surprised how quickly my family went with this game. Excellent one I can highly, highly recommend.
Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.